Good afternoon, good evening, good morning if it's morning for you. My name is Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I am here to share some guidance and pull some cards for this week ahead. So it's a bit later in the day than usual, and in fact I didn't think I would get in until tomorrow, so I'm very grateful to have the energy and to be inspired to be here while it's still Monday. So I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate. It's 8:42 p.m. I'm usually in bed pretty much by now, so I've got a little wind happening at the moment, so I'm here. So while you're coming in, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much, and a big extra special thank you to those of you who have supported my work during this month, during our Temple of Balance 2-week sale. So there's about 1 week to go. If you're interested, have a look on my ceramics and my Temple of Balance website. So, and the basic reason that we're doing a sale this month is because Temple of Balance is turning 17 on the 25th of February, which is pretty incredible. 17's getting up there. So 17 years. We started on eBay. I started Temple of Balance on eBay in 2005, and then it's just grown really quite quickly from there. We had a couple of viral posts here on Facebook in 2014 that saw us have about 25,000 new likes a week for about a year. So we went from about 8,000 likes for a few years at the beginning, you know, taking a few years to build, and then in a year we went up to 600,000. So quite incredible. So thank you all for being here. So welcome. If you are new to watching, welcome. Let us know if you are new so we can welcome you. What I'll be doing today is using my Speed of Light Oracle cards that I created, and I've mixed them up with this deck, which are the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, which I also created. I made these decks the same size so they could fit in together. So there's 55 of both decks. Not that you can really, doesn't really look like it when you're fanning them out, but there are a lot. Anyway, there's 55 altogether, 110, 55 times 2. And I'll be using these cards I'm going to lay them out in front of me today, and we're going to look for the best cards for this week ahead. So that's this week, starting Monday the 14th of February through till Sunday the 20th of February. So while I'm shuffling and preparing, good morning and good afternoon and evening to you all. While I'm shuffling to prepare, a little recap on last week's theme card, which was the butterfly. And the butterfly reminded us about getting back to basics, not overcomplicating things, not jumping to conclusions or having assumptions on things until we have the facts, which I know helped me last week, remembering that. And getting back to that beautiful energy of joy. So have you felt much joy in this last sort of 7 days? So now we devote our attention to the new week, and I'm asking the cards to show us what we need to know for this week ahead. I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared will support you at this time. Always, please take on board what feels right and what resonates, and what fits into your life easily, and let the rest go. Good morning. Bernadette is here. I don't think it's like morning for you, isn't it? Let's do a quick shout out. We've got Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca, and Lynn and Trish. And Morag is here. Yes, I wasn't expecting to be here either, but it's happened. Wendy and Rosie and Yvonne. Clara is here, and Marianne, welcome. Bernadette and Linda. Hi, Susie. Marianne is somewhere where it's morning. So maybe in America, perhaps, or Canada. Hi, Kerry. and for Bernadette in the UK, it's nearly 10 a.m. Oh, yes, so maybe you're in the UK over there, Marianne. But anyway, let's get these cards out. So the best cards for the majority of us for this week ahead, the 14th to the 20th of February 2022, are these. So I've split the deck, I've picked, shuffled, picked and split the deck the way I always do, which is the way that works for me. And I'm just going to now lay these cards out. So we're going in an arch. It feels like a bridge, actually. A bridge. And the bridge has 3, 4, 5 Speed of Light and 2 Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. So let's see. Hi, Kels. Welcome. Petra, it's from the Netherlands. It's 10:50. Wow. Okay, let's pull these cards over. We've got some featured cards already. We've got 2 featured cards. Let's start by honouring this one. So here it has further instructions which say to fan out the deck and take an extra card. So we're fanning out, and I'm not looking. I'm just going to go with this card here to go with the Shaman. It's the wolf. Interesting. We've got 2 wolves here together. So I'm going to talk about that very soon because that's pretty much the first cards I'm going to talk about. And we've also got this featured card, the Lizard, card 3. And up here it says to take the 3rd card from the top of the deck. So I'm just going down to card 1, 2, 3, this card. And it is Crystal Beach, another featured card. So we're going to honour that while we're here. It says to split the deck. So back on top here, so let's just split the deck. I'm going to just keep that top part aside in case this is another featured card, which it isn't. So let's pop that card down. So we have quite a few cards out here, but we'll get to the Lizard section a bit later. We'll start here with these 2 cards, the Shaman and the Wolf. These have come up together for a reason. And we're going to look at these cards separately, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So the Shaman is card 17. And down here it says solitude, grounding, mending, privacy, and reassess. So this is highlighting, especially Monday, early in the week, that some of us may feel a bit withdrawn, or we may be dealing with things quite privately. Some of us may need to, or want to, or have the opportunity to slip into our sort of private cave, our inner place. It could be staying in the home, it could be a room that we go to, or a place in nature, or even a meditation that we go to within, and to reconnect, to reassess our life, to reflect on where we've come from, where we are now, and where we're potentially going. So this private time is important, and some of us may feel a bit antisocial, a bit withdrawn, or a bit sort of wanting to be in our own space to work things out. And it's connected with this card, the Wolf card 44, and it says instincts, moon, cycles, flow, and trust. So this is definitely highlighting cycles that a lot of us are going through right now. So cycles and changes, pretty similar. They have a similar sort of energy, but there is a feeling, for me, with change in general, it tends to be doors opening, doors closing. So it's very horizontal in its feeling to me, you know, like walking a path. Whereas cycles feel more circular to me. So it feels more like the seasons cycling through, the cycles of the day and night and the years and all these cycles that we go through, which feels more like a wheel or a circle. So the wolf especially highlights cycles, so moving in this sort of cyclic circle sort of movement or rhythm at the moment. And this implies that there might be something that we're dealing with early in the week that we've been through before, because that's the thing with cycles. Cycles tend to cycle around. So it might be a pattern that's repeating itself. It might be a similar person or a similar feeling that we get in situations that is cycling back through. So it's really good to look at if something we're uncomfortable with or triggered by is a cycle that we've felt before, or is it something that we're walking into that's more perhaps like new territory. So with these two cards together, it feels like some of us, especially Monday, need to or consider making time to slip into our private space, even just for half an hour or a couple of hours or whatever we can find or whatever feels right and fits into our life, to make time to reflect on, to contemplate, to reassess or assess, especially the cycles that we're going through at this time. So what is cyclic for you? And what I like to ask myself when I'm going through my own personal healing and I'm exploring my issues is I ask myself, have or when did I feel this same feeling before? And it may be in a past connection with someone. It may be in an old situation. It may be something that I can see the pattern that cycles back into my childhood. So it gives us a big clue that this is a pattern, a cycle that we might be needing to look at so we can break that cycle and break that pattern. And we're being encouraged really to trust our instincts. If you have a strong connection with wolf, then it's also very strongly coming through for the beginning of the week. So I trust that makes sense. Now we move to Tuesday, the 15th of February, and we have the Healed card, card 34, and it says golden light, wounds, blocks, and dissolve. So this is about the healing that our physical body needs. So some of us may find, especially these first couple of days this week, that we may need some healing time. So it may be some cyclic issues or patterns or difficulties that we're going through at this time that we might notice a cycle that's happening. If you're saying things like, why does this always happen to me? Why do I keep attracting this type of person? Why do I never have this or that or whatever? It's usually a cycle, a pattern that's calling to be healed. Because every time this wheel turns, that cycle, that pattern, that issue, it gets louder. And it gets louder every time it cycles back through, trying to get our attention so we can heal it, release it, let it go, and move on and move forward. So there's extra highlight, especially with this card coming in now, that these first couple of days this week especially will likely be focused around our healing, what our body needs for healing for some of us, but also breaking old patterns and old things that continue to trigger us. And trigger our issues or trigger our wounds. So let's look at the cycle. But one of the key things too with the cycles, if you notice that, hey, I'm in a cycle here, how can I stop it? Go back to the source. So you can ask in a meditation or when you're doing your healing time to go back to when this started. When did it start for you? And resolve that, and it will help resolve the pattern. So it's not necessarily going to be easy, but it's not impossible, and it's something that if you're willing to look at can actually produce a lot of help for us in freeing who we are, freeing those wounds and those hurts that we carry. So physical healing here, quite strong for Tuesday. Then we move to Wednesday. So Wednesday the 16th, and we've got these three cards. Very interesting. These three cards have come up together for a reason, so let's look at them separately, and then we'll look at their relationship together. The Lizard, card 3. It says optimism, appearances, delusion, and illusion. This card highlights that things may not be as they seem or as they appear. So something may be hiding underneath the surface. So for example, if we're preparing to sign a contract, let's look at the fine print. If we're preparing to buy a vehicle, let's look under the bonnet. This card is not saying not to proceed. It's just saying that we might need more information so that we're better informed with all of the information, all of the details before we decide if we do want to commit or if it's not going to work for us. So looking at the fine print, what's under the surface here? Now, if this is still related to the healing things that I talked about before, this is likely the stuff that's been sitting underneath hiding, the issues, the wounds, the trigger, the source of the issue that we might be carrying will likely pop to the surface. So we're being also encouraged through this card, if it's connected with healing for you, to drop deeper than how things appear and how things appear to be. What's under the surface here? What's really going on for us? What is the real crux of the issue that we are feeling at this time or feeling fragile about? So not just things that we might be doing around Wednesday to look at the fine detail, but this is very much about looking deeper at things, not just at how things appear to be. And it comes with this card, card 11, the Crystal Beach. And it says here, decision, vision, pondering, clarity, and decide. This suggests that there's a decision that needs to be made on Wednesday. This feels quite specific, this group of cards. So a decision that needs to be made, or clarity that we need to find before we can make our decision. Which, if I sneak back to this card, if we're confused about something and we might need more information, let's ask, let's bring it to light so that we get the clarity so we can make our decision. If we're feeling indecisive and we don't have all of the information, it's going to be difficult to make that decision. So it almost feels like these go together. Funny, funny. So clarity and making a decision here. And these come with this card, 51, shelter. It says seek safe shelter. This is highlighting our shelter, our home, our safe place. And this safe place, whether it's a home or a room, it could be a vehicle, it might be a place in nature. It could be an inner place if we're not really settled in our life right now. Our inner home, our inner shelter, if you like. That we might be called here for protection, for resting, for mending, for healing. It's coming up again. And to reflect on how things might be for us. Now, specifically, let's look at these three together. So we have look beneath the surface, ask questions, get more information so that we can get the clarity that we need to make the decision that we need to make, especially a decision around the home, around our shelter, around our safety as well perhaps, or our protection. So some of us, this feels like a specific thing that would probably apply to some of us who are connecting. So that's that. Let's move to Thursday, the 17th of February. We have our good luck card, the Ladybug, card 31. And it says, this is a favourable time. So this is the good luck card. It's been in good flow. It's abundance. It's things lightening up that have perhaps been feeling a bit heavy earlier in the week. So there is this feeling too of coming out, especially those of us who may feel a bit sort of withdrawn or a little bit private. We want to be a bit private early in the week, and we're dealing with our healing and the cycles of things that are coming up. There is a feeling that we'll be probably coming out of that healing space, especially by around Thursday. This feels like coming out, and something feels fresh and new, almost like spring in the air as well. So things being in good flow, a great day to potentially do some things that could benefit us in the future. So a nice flowing day. Friday, we have Friday the 18th, and we've got card 33, the Giraffe. And the Giraffe suggests that we look at things differently. So this is about perspective. It's about sticking our neck out, maybe saying something outrageous or something that's very much out of our comfort zone, something we probably wouldn't usually stick our neck out and say, but we might find it quite interesting to do that. It also suggests that there might be something that happens that helps us see a situation or a person or even ourselves from a new perspective, a new angle, to help us see the bigger picture of what's going on. So we're being encouraged to look at things differently, especially if we feel stuck. If you feel stuck by the time you get to Friday, I suggest, if it resonates with you, to think about how you can step back from that space that you're in, step back from being deeply involved perhaps in the situation, and look at this from other angles. How might that person feel in this situation? How might my parent, sometimes I find that helpful as I get older, and big waves to my dad who might be watching, sometimes I think back to, you know, how I know my parents to be, my mother, my father, my stepfather, my stepmother, and think, how would they potentially deal with this situation? And sometimes I find that helpful too. So stepping away from things if it's a bit stuck for you. Now, Saturday, we're just going straight through the days here. Saturday the 19th of February, we've got Delegate, card 28, and it says ask, plan, organise and assistance. So this suggests that some of us may feel a bit pressured by the time we get to Saturday. There might be just a lot going on, and it might be helpful for us to release those pressures that we might be feeling like we're under. So it might mean that we delegate chores, we ask for help, we get ourselves a little better organised. This is like the step before we might step into overwhelm or feeling overwhelmed. So before overwhelm kicks in, hopefully it hasn't for you, but before it kicks in, maybe look at what pressure that you feel that you're under. How stressed are you feeling by the time you get to Saturday, and what can you do to lighten the load? Sometimes taking a break is helpful, even though it seems like it could be counterproductive because there's so much to do. But if we're feeling overwhelmed by what we've got before us, sometimes taking a break is what we need to do. So we're not getting overly stressed out. We can use our energy better when we refocus on the task at hand. So it may help us too on Saturday to get organised, to organise things a bit, to put all our ducks in a row as best as we can and prepare for whatever it is we're preparing for. And card 22, we've had lots of double numbers, 33, 44, 22, 11, 22, Lotus Heart is here for Sunday. And this says it says Om Mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. So this is about reconnecting with our hearts on Sunday and finding peace. No matter what's going on this week, and it may be quite, it almost feels like a washing machine going around inside us at times. So there might be waves or times where we feel very emotional and things very shaken up and stirred up, or sort of scattered and moving inside us. So we might find that comes in waves this week, but it feels like Sunday in general feels to be a great day to reconnect with our heart, to meditate, to simplify things as well, to find peace, to find calm, and to allow ourselves to, you know, we could continue to let ourselves be stressed out and worried and scared, or we could look at this from a different perspective and perhaps look at what we need. Maybe we need to calm down a little bit. Maybe we need to find peace and remind ourselves and reassure ourselves that everything's going to be okay. So this sort of energy coming in just to help calm things down. So calming down by Sunday, which feels to be a time really for us to catch our breath, because it does feel a bit sort of up and down. The waters feel like they might be a bit choppy throughout this week, especially for our healing emotionally and things that are taking place in our life. It doesn't feel like a terrible week at all. It feels like quite an interesting week coming forward, but it does feel a little like the seas are a bit choppy at times. So let's see how we go. That's until we get to Sunday, where it just feels calm and beautiful. So let's see how we go. So that's the guidance for this week. I trust it resonates and supports you. Please come back and connect with the video throughout the week to get your bearings and remind yourself of where things are at, and see how or if the cards resonate with you and speak to you. So thank you. I'm going to pull a theme card in just a minute, but before I do, I want to please encourage you, if you've enjoyed this video, to hit the thumbs up button, to show us some love, to comment or share if you're inspired to. If you're watching on YouTube, that's Temple of Balance on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So this week we have coming up, first of all, on Wednesday is our Pillar of Light private healing event. It's probably my favourite healing event for the month. We dive deeply into stuff. So Pillar of Light members, please keep an eye on our private Facebook group on Wednesday morning. It may be Tuesday for you, for our healing session for this month. So that's on Wednesday. And Friday is my second card reading club. So if you want to take your connection and the way you read your cards to a deeper, more serious level for personal or professional use, then please consider joining my card reading club. It's an hour on Zoom, and we're going to be exploring timing. Timing's pretty difficult to predict. Actually, it's super difficult to predict. It can be pretty easy to predict the month, I find, but the year you can be like almost exactly a year or something out. So I've worked out a way that I connect with timing and how to bring timing into the readings. So we'll be doing that on Friday. So have a look on my website if you want to join in. That's my card reading club for the 18th of February. And my art class, my online art class, we're diving into the chakras starting Friday afternoon, Australian time. So it's the base chakra. We're going to be exploring the base, survival, survival instincts, grounding, our physicality. So we're going to be having great conversations about that and then creating an artwork around our base chakra. So great for healing too. So if you want to join that, please look on my website. Check out my website, templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much. Let's look for the best theme card. So the theme card will help bring this week together and help us see the bigger picture. So what is our theme card for this week, starting the 14th of February to the 20th of February, 2022? And the best theme is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And it's this. It's the turtle card 45. Oh, my cat she's opening my door in the studio. She's never done that before. Come on then. You want to say hello to our friends? Do you? Come on then. Come here. Come on. Come around. I can't pick you up from there. Here she is, Miss Puss. She says hello. You say hello to our friends? She's a bit wet. It's a bit wet outside. So she's a bit smelly and wet. But she's loves her cuddles, don't you? There you go. So the turtle, slow and steady. So slow and steady, but not necessarily slow. It's about finding our steady pace this week. We might find Monday's pace is different to Wednesday's pace, and Monday and Wednesday's pace are probably going to be different to Friday's pace. So we're probably going to find that things are really paced this week. Some days are going to be fast, some days are going to be slower. We might even have half days fast, the rest of the day not. So there feels to be our speed, our pace, and finding our rhythm, our movement that aligns with how our body feels, our current state, and what's happening around us is going to be really important. So let's remind ourselves that we are protected, that our home too and our belongings are safe if that's a concern for us. And let's just continue plodding along, one day at a time, one step at a time. We may not be able to think ahead even to Sunday in some instances and situations right now. So let's just get through our day, then get through the next day and just find the best steady pace that we have when we get to the day. If we overdo it Tuesday, we may need to slow things down Wednesday. So, you know, I feel like there's going to be about, it really comes back to our body, doesn't it? The state of our body, how our energy levels are in our body, and being okay with slower paced days. If we've been in a rut though, and we've been dragging our feet in the mud for a while, then let's motivate ourselves to kick things up a bit, which we can do. So let's set ourselves some goals. Let's get focused. If we've been dragging our feet, if we're not feeling well, then it's okay that we slow things down a bit. So it's going to be very much governed by the state of our body, our energy levels, and also perhaps what we need to get done. Maybe getting things done early in the week will then free things up a little bit for later in the week, or this sort of thing. So our attitude, but especially our physical body and its state. But this is about our movement now, and it doesn't have to be slow. It's just finding our steady pace, and sometimes it may be slow, but it may not always be slow. So let's move with that steadiness, keep our balance and keep our bearings, keep our footings as we go. So the turtle is our theme. Slow and steady. So thanks so much for joining me. I trust you've enjoyed this connection. And thank you. Have a fantastic week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating. And I look forward to connecting with you again next week for the weekly guidance. I may stop in, well, I'll be here Wednesday for our Pillar of Light healing event. And I'll also be in Friday privately for our card reading club. Can't wait. I love it. And our online art class, which I also love. So I'm just loving these Fridays that come around once a month. So I might see you then, and I might share a public video throughout the week if inspired. So thank you so much. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Take care.